For game number 1 in this best of 3 grand final to determine who gets themselves 1,000 euros for first place. Could it be Orange Logo or could it be the Civilized Gentleman?
So here we're going to see Tage probably pop on some nice damage onto Littleton quite early here. He brings that focus out as well as the potential burning damage. You're not going to get a load of conditions onto Littleton too early in the game. And actually Rom going down quite early at mid with that combination of the Thief, Mesmer and the Engineer down. Locking down their opponent quite early, quite easily. And we're going to see him go out here. But Littleton, unfortunately for Orange Logo, fortunately for himself, is going to survive. And that means that they will get the early one up on Orange Logo in this game.
Yeah, no reason to really just reinforce down towards Keep at all just yet. Of course, here they do have the portal set up there if they need to go over there, so it allows them to have good sustainability. In fact, already, actually, the rotation on around to try and catch off Sinjani, realizing maybe that they're not going to have as much success over towards that henge. Well, actually, I say that. They've already got the success over there. So reinforce mid and then get themselves the 2-cap very easy and nice rotation.
Oh, Rom's interrupted a couple of times then and interrupts his own banner because he knows that's going to happen. Not able to get Frey up here at all.
No.
It was poison and cleave down on the corpse, and unfortunately again we're going to see another kill coming out onto Orange Logo. So that's 2 kills coming out for TCG currently. They're able to sustain this map in the 2-cap presently, and the rotation back to mid like we were talking about before with that portal means they're going to be able to hold that mid node, and the Mesmer again proving that it's very useful.
Just waiting to see how Fraser really going to play out this this Necromancer. I really haven't seen him too much on it in the Go4s, or especially WTS, and we never really saw him on WTS, but in Go4s, for me, on monthlies at least, you know, he's always been on other things to help on out, but Rom is down once again over here, and Fraser's going to jump into the Death Shroud there to try and help on out for a moment. And maybe slow this all down, but the full kill off will happen here onto Rom.
Yeah, I mean, he was unfortunately too late to really be that useful over on this point. I mean, he's going to sustain the node. They might be able to actually pick up the 2-caps now, setting themselves up for a sustained fight unless Tage goes down, which is exactly what I was going to say. No Plague Res available for Frey. Oof. And really, TCG are knocking them out here really everywhere on the map. I mean, TCG, we've not really seen any struggle coming out for them. No one's going to come in for the res, and really Orange Logo need to now push to mid as they're not able to focus. They're not able to deal with the way that TCG are rotating at the moment. And as soon as they move into a position where they're outnumbering them, TCG are now doing the same back because Orange Logo have just got 4 men on the map. They've not got 5, and that's been the same ever since Rom died, really, over on the midpoint.
Yeah, it's back onto Mesmer strength again. I mean, Misha's been a great replacement here for Helseth, considering the situation. Every single time, they're getting their rotations right. They're on towards mine. They've decapped that. Yeah, there may end up being a decap at the other 2 points, but as long as they're slowing down the points that Orange Logo are getting while they have this 2-cap, it's fantastic.
Yeah, now Mankar's struggling to survive against Levin. Does even use that Signet to get that nice little heal off. And we're going to see the kill coming out there. But we are going to see, again, another 2-cap coming out for TCG. Really struggling at the moment, Orange Logo, to try and get anything out in this combination of comp that they have changed into. Something they're going to have to get used to. And Rom now going down. We are going to see Sinjani bringing out the Shadow Refuge. Nice res, nice knockback counter there by Misha as well. And good job for them to keep into this. Now, Misha, good point to talk about as well, has gone over to Staff. Great point positions as well as Cleave on point with that Chaos Storm. And now we are having the problem where Orange Logo are going to have to regroup here when Rom does get back into the map, which feels like is really the good move because it feels like they just need to regroup. Actually, TCG aren't going to let that happen. They're going to go for the Imoa kill onto Frey here. Gets knocked back as well and has to use that movement to get back over towards the henge. Are they going to be able to support this? Red Levin almost gets taken out there by Tage, just throwing that fire onto him there as well with the 4th skill, of course. We're going to see them rally back together and move towards mid, but they've actually been, their lines have been broken here. Mesmer, Misha does get through for the decap as well, which even negates their point score even more. Again, he's been doing that all night, man.
Yeah, been really, really good. Ever since the first game against Orange Legion and Loganairs, you know, it kind of looked like just a bit more of a stepping stone. And then from that point on, they have looked really, really powerful here tonight. Frey at the moment in his Death Shroud is going to have to try and keep himself alive during all of this. And Tornado comes out of all things for Big Zan.
Look at the... You know what? I mean, at the moment, these team fights are being completely won by TCG against Orange Logo. There is not been a situation where Orange Logo have been winning on this map at the moment. Mancal now probably going to be brought into downstate as well himself when he comes out of that vamp form. Gets away nicely as well, can regenerate here and can get back over to the points to join Syndroneer as well. So this gameplay that's coming out from Orange Logo is very different, and they're going to have to rely mainly on sustaining the map as well, because they've got two very supportive characters. They've not got the mobility really that, well, they've never really had that. I mean, the Warrior had it before, but now it's changed into a completely supportive role, and really that was just because of the Great Sword, of course, and the Mesmer is so strong at the moment.
It's not the full TCG Orange Logo lineup that we're used to seeing, and it's definitely not their usual composition, but maybe they can gain traction with it later on. At the moment, though, TCG well in the lead. They've taken themselves Keep, they've taken themselves Henge. They're not really being contested. There's a big fight, actually, over towards their spawning point of all things, over on the left-hand side. Them trying to kill off Frey quickly. But aside from that, Rom went down during it as well. And he is, well, he's in no man's land, basically. He is going to be dying off slowly.
Yeah, we've seen Rom being killed quite a few times here. They're really getting a nice focus on him, of course, always making sure that banner is interrupted. And we're back to that Shoutbow Warrior. You know, quite a fun build to see as well, with a nice clutch banner reses, but it feels like it's something which, you know, is being brought back, but which is really well countered to a degree in terms of what TCG are bringing to the fight with the Engineer. You know, the Engineer is then brought back, really is even made even stronger in that. We're going to see another Moa coming out onto Frey there. That was, of course, thrown out by Zan there, which pushes him away from that fight, not able to sustain there at all, unfortunately. But we are going to see a big kill coming out from Orange Logo here on Red 11. It's a good job to pick up the kill on him. He is potentially going to get rest here as well. Try from Misha, not able to do that in the end. Does even have a portal himself to move back potentially into another place on this map.
Yeah, just keeping good eyes on Misha, seeing exactly where he's going to go at any point in time.
Big Zan going down as well as Misha tries to get away here. I think we can see that res. Now, this could be a possible switch up for the game, but it's very late in the game, unfortunately.
374 against 160. When you've got like this kind of 200-point cushion, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Also, the decap going on towards mine. Very, very quick, very fast, and easily taken. Super quick. Frey, not really much that he can do against that at all.
Not when he's on 1v2. I mean, when he's in a 1v1, you know, he can sustain there for quite a long time, but versus Levin and Misha, like, he's literally keeping the point contested. He'll die out on the end. And Big Zan's going to res as well. So, you know, blue team members moving over to this point, I'm not sure it's going to be the greatest idea. And actually, we're going to see Tage come in for the potential damage here on one of these members. I'm not sure about this rotation from these guys. If Tage dies here as well, their combat potential in this map is going to be completely broken. He does get the pullback from Zan there as well, and he's going to be out here for sure. Renewed Focus comes in. He's going to have condition removal when he needs it. He does have it, but he has to pop everything, and even gets that sword closure on Zan to pull himself out of the other cleave that's going on there as well. But look at Syndroneer. He's going to use this situation to get the decap possibly. But Zan, is he going to get on? No, he's not. So that's actually, again, Syndroneer very good at making the best out of a bad situation.
It almost looked like it was orchestrated, the way in which he was drawing them out to that middle point. But you know, I want to give credit where credit's due. As you said, Syndroneer really, really good at being able to just loop around and get himself a decap. Of course, it has been capped once again, and they still need to make up some room here. So they still need to get themselves at least keep. They got the denial though, so already the decap is there. But with Syndroneer down for this long, it's going to be difficult. That's
the problem. We've only got 80 points coming left for TCG here as well before they take this game. So Orange Logo really need to. It's kind of that position again that we were talking about before, where they've got to make desperate moves to really pull something back here. And it's quite a big. It's a large point score. It's almost 200 points. So they're going to have to do something. They've got to do it quickly. And now Michiga pops up to the top here as well. And as blue team move out into the map, which they have to do. Oh, Rampage comes out from Zan as well. And he really puts the pressure onto Rom. Rom just has to leg it on out, trying to line of sight any possible way he can. Gets that 3k damage. And then brings out the rifle. And the extensive range actual buff that they brought out as well really kind of screws Rom over. Rom's going to go down here to the Engineer. Great move from him. But also Lipion's down on the other side. They're going to be able to get the res here. They are. far. And now we're going to see Littleton back up, and they should be fine in this situation. Misha does push quite far there, actually, but does get the re-support of Littleton, who's still in stealth there as well. Goes into Vamp form and should be fine to get the res. Syndrome trying to pick up the kill on Misha. Does drop that Chaos Storm down as well. Good job for him to actually bring out the space. Syndrome needs to be very careful in his movement here.
Yeah, technically, Misha, if she's getting bottom trouble, there's the portal straight on out. We're going to head over towards the keep. I was going to say, can use that as an escape path and escape mechanism, but also just continue to use it for the rotations, because getting straight onto Frey after using that to help one out with Red 11. Fantastic little move there by Misha.
And now Syndrome, like before, pushes over towards mine, but it's going to be too late, unfortunately, because Zan's actually... Oh, no, there's the interesting little thing there, I'm going to call it that, where the pull on the magnet, of course, doesn't pull him towards Zan, just interrupts him there, unfortunately, and means the decap happens. But again, too late in the day for the comeback from Orange Logo. And, competitively, they haven't played against anyone high tier, probably, with this build setup, unless it's something they've tested with Orange Legionnaires, of course. Misha goes down mid, no res coming out, unless Red 11 pulls it out. Easy res there from himself, both stealth still as well. Misha can come back onto the point, they reverse the damage onto Tage and Mount Cal, and that is definitely going to be the end of that.
Yeah.
Because this is a two-man wipe onto Orange Logo, and they should be able to pick up the kills and the game, really.
Yeah, Rom trying to cycle around, maybe to get to keep here to try and contest it, but it's going to be too late with those 2 kills going down. They'll need themselves 2 points, and, well, he'll get on. But for how long he sits here and doesn't die, we shall soon find out. Rom, please.
They want it. Give me the cap. It's mine. They're coming back into the game now. Orange Logo have always had this rep.
There you go. GG.
Blimey. You just ruined my potential hype for an impossible comeback that was definitely not going to happen.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that. So, Red 11 having a bit of fun there at the end, of course. We saw it at the chirpy self, his chirpy self, over at WTS on the analysis desk, which was one of the most glorious moments of WTS. But now, going into game number 2 here, TCG have got to, just win this out again. I think, after looking at that game, going into this one, it being faux fire, they could definitely just round this out with a 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, they were on point. They were getting the kills onto Tage, for example. Rom was always in a position where he was... I mean, Rom died quite a lot in that game. They were able to really take him out quite easily. I mean, they knew what he was playing. He was playing a very supportive role early off. He was mid. He was put into that downside quite early. The difference was that Littleton survived that early engagement, and he was able to get to mid. So they would, for about... a few minutes of that, the game at the beginning, they were actually a man down quite consistently, and that really punished them. And they started to come back, actually, with consistency over 3 caps. But really, TCG are playing with this comp. They know how to they're starting to put that warrior into the right positions now, I feel. And I think it's just going to take a moment for these guys to... we've seen this change up.
Yeah, Frey already changing over to Guardian.
I really feel like Orange Logo are in this transition as well at the moment, where they're not really sure how their comp's going to go.
Yeah, where they really want to go.
There's this one position, the burn guard.
Yeah.
Is it useful? Is it something we can really use? Can we use it, Is Tage going to... Yeah, Tage has gone back onto bunker guard as well. So this is the thing, we saw the differences between the 3 teams. Now, I know TCG came 3rd and Orange Logo came 2nd. And a lot of that also is, Orange Logo played very well. They beat the Abjured in that first series that we saw in WTS, but still, I mean, there was the lack of experience from TCG, and the point is that, that really came into effect as they started to hit up towards that winner's bracket and go up against the higher tier teams. They could sit back against the Chinese team. There wasn't much of a threat from those guys. But as soon as they get into a high pressure situation, they're just, it, to a degree, almost felt like it fell apart. Like, watching them now, you can see the difference in confidence.
Yeah.
Like, it's clear, it's obvious, But when we go to another WTS or another tournament, we will see the experience that they gain from that, and the confidence will come out for TCG. That's just going to be a thing that happens. It's just the way it goes, right? I mean, now, Orange Logo have had to go back a step or two to think, what are we going to bring with our passion and aggression in our game, where we can actually put it ahead of the rotational play, because we've still got to think about our Bunker Guardian. How the hell are we going to change this up? Because as soon as he gets out-rotated, which you heard it from Chafe for 5 gauge, you heard it from Hellsev as well, the strategy, the main strategy, out-rotate our opponents, make sure the Bunker Guardian isn't in the fights. Or put him in a situation where he cannot rotate.
I'm very happy to see them kind of experimenting, though.
Yeah, they need to,
Yeah, I mean, not only if we get into a situation like WTS where it is Temple in a rotation or something like that, where it does have a little bit of a mix-up, because we saw WTS how kind of lost their composition was on a map like that. But even on these other ones, where we saw eventually the Absurd was able to just hammer home other maps that weren't Temple against Orange Logo. Orange Logo's never really going to settle for being, yeah, we're the best in EU, great, hurrah. Because after having that taste of what they did at WCS Boston, they're never going to let that go again. No team is ever going to let that go again once they've had it once.
That's the thing, isn't it?
That's how it goes here in competition.
Yeah, exactly. And they just want to get it back, and they want to get it back quickly. And depending on when that happens, you know, there's always going to be this preparation. And then, of course, we've also got, you know, expansion and all the changes that are going to come before that. And, you know, likelihood is that the expansion is going to be first before we see a next major tournament.
It's going to shake up things up a lot.
Yeah, a hell of a lot. We've got so many different things. Yeah, we've got an entire class coming in. We've got, you know, each specialization for each class. You know, Chronomancer is something which could be very important to the Mesmer potentially as well. And, you know, things might change between now and then, because we're still in beta testing phase for that as well. We've only just had the first weekend.
All right, well, we are going to be jumping into game number 2 now here. Just to take a quick overview of what has been the change up over on Orange Logo. As we said, you said before, you know, they've got the Bunker Guardians in, so.
Yeah, Tage going for that Bunker Guardian. You know, we know him on this build, very effective as well. Rom's going back to Hammer Greatsword. They're just going to play it the way they know it, and this is where they beat TCG. They beat TCG with this setup, you know. So let's just do it again. Like, it doesn't matter. We didn't beat the Absurd, but they're not against the Absurd tonight. They're against TCG. All
right, let's get into it then. The splits here. Game number 2 at the moment. TCG leads 1-0 of Orange Logo in the grand finals.
So this is going to be very surprising for TCG, probably, unless they were watching the bot, or unless they were spectating. So Mankal's going to jump up on that fence, so it means that if the Thief comes in, he's not able to get his steal off, of course, as well, because he's not able to land a sight there. So that's a good position for the... Oh, I was literally about to say good position. Brought into vamp form anyway. Loves lightning flash away. But the thing is, that engagement really then brings in the advantage for Syndrome and others to come in for the kill, potentially. But the problem is, again, is that they have the Mesmer. He can port them back away, but Red 11 gets caught there. Is TCG Medtexby going to be able to get the res? He is indeed, and Red 11 back up. After all the resing that Red 11 does, it's only fair that he gets one back after all.
Already a good start here for TCG. They've got themselves quarry for all of this time, and at the moment they haven't been able to capture themselves any good kills here of Orange Logo. This phrase, Judgment's intervention, has just come off cooldown. There's a Rampage coming out now, trying to get on towards Frey here is Big Zan. A lot of power coming down onto him, actually. Frey should be able to keep himself alive, though.
Moa comes out as well. Let's just jump onto Misha here. Indeed has gone for the Moa this time, knowing that Ron might possibly change builds. Of course, it's going to be a bit more useful. Has got that staff, of course. Now, Misha's Mesmer play on that staff, of course, is pretty well known. But then Frey, of course, does get taken out here. We're going to see the res potential. Oof. Not quick enough, unfortunately, from the members of Orange Logo there. Tage probably having to use... No, he didn't have that elite cooldown either, so unfortunately not able to use that in the end. Rom now has to push away himself. TCG still have 50 points on the board, and even Red 11 follows up with the kill. Are we going to be able to see Syndrome able to come in with the possible res? He does get him up in the end. Good save from Sin there, and they're going to have to actually get quickly back into the map. Syndrome going for that decap. Nice work from him, as Frey can now push back in towards mid. Hopefully, maybe for Orange Logo, they can pick up the 2 kills, but Tage goes down. That's an important kill for TCG here. Tons of cleave comes in. Mirror Blade from the Mesmer, as well as cleave from Big Zan from the side. And Red Levin pressuring on Frey here. And of course, the one big thing that is bad about this build of the Burn Guard is the mobility and the lack of it. And when you've used that cooldown, which is so important for advancing forward.
And Holiday Portal's been set up in mid here by Misha as well, just to help out the waterfall, and then when needed, can come back to Graveyard very, very quickly with 2 people down. They're just getting all the kills. They've got themselves Graveyard. They're going to be able to push away from waterfall, capture this. There could even be a 3-cap coming out here. This could be brutal.
Yeah, this could be a very early 3-cap indeed. And oh, we're actually seeing Orange Logo pushing all members towards Waterfall.
They've got to deny the 3-cap.
Well, I mean, you know, this is what Orange Logo are good at, you know, team fighting. In this composition is better. This team fighting is much better than it is in the last team composition they had. So, yeah. You know, Misha realizes that and actually portals straight on out and actually replaces himself with Zan here. So this just doesn't double check what Zan's running. Still running a Marauder, actually, surprisingly enough. And Orange Logo, even though sustaining the waterfall, they're losing the map even more now as they push 2 caps and this 5v5 almost, 4v4. Sorry.
Need to try and save Lippian. He's going to jump on out of there here on this Xiaobo Warrior. And should be fine for now. There is the chase up on him though. They really want to get themselves Lippian, who does jump away once again. Try and lock him down. We'll be able to bring him into the down state here pretty quickly off the back of that.
There's no one there to actually assist. And that's an easy res for TCG. No pressure at all. And actually, the only pressure on the map at the moment is currently still on Waterfall. And TechSpeed is probably winning this 1v1 between him and Frey. Frey can't do much about that burning, of course. You know, he's in a situation where he's going to go down. I mean, that versus the Elementalist, he can cleanse those conditions. And he can catch him out if he's not in the right attunement. But
as quickly as he was brought up, he was brought back down by Zan as well as TechSpeed here.
Yes.
And they get him up even again. But look at the points. This is ridiculous now. This is mounting up really, really difficult here for Orange Logo.
They've given up fully on the point as well. They need to push them away to win something out of this. And Tage is just going to push with the rest of the team. No one's going for the cap other than Frey. And Frey's, because he's quite slow as well, he's going to have to move back. It's going to take him a while to get back to mid. And actually, Misha, again, being very sensible at pulling away. TechSpeed then comes in for the regen, trying to actually make sure that he's going to be able to survive through this Mancal. Tries to potentially push Misha into a downstate. That's not going to happen.
And we're going to see here how well Misha's going to be able to use that portal from one side of Graveyard to another. At least they've got themselves a capture on the board, but Rom is down once again. This is all just out of control here. They managed to pick Rom up though. Good stuff.
Good quickness res as well with the elite trait, with the elite there from Tage. They're feeling the wrath of that res, of course, now as Orange Logo start to gain some points on the map now. This is 10-12. First cap coming in for the game there, and they need to watch out for Red Levin. He's been on his back caps today like a boss, and now +1's this fight versus Frey. Now this is really bad for Frey. He's in such a horrible position, and no one's in the point to actually, you know, he's just distracting in the moment. There's nothing they can do for him. So they're going to come over here to the quarry and try and 2v2 now, and I'm not sure if this is even going to happen, to be honest. Rom's really in a position where he has to be trying to get. He's got his Rampage back up in 17 seconds, so he might be okay, actually. And he does dodge that Berserker as well, so good job from Rom there to sustain himself. We are going to see the backup coming up from Tage. So Tage is very, of course, important to Rom's survival.
What up, Frey overall also here. Judgment Intervention on towards TechSpeed, who manages to get out of there pretty quick. So at least they'll be able to wrestle themselves away the waterfall. And also towards Quarry, they did at least get themselves the full decap and making sure that they're not going to be falling too far behind the points. But
oh, San! So much damage came out from Rampage there, as well as the rest of the team members. And now Rom is dancing around in Rampage himself, but gets stunned there, unfortunately. Oh, the AoE Moa brings him out of Rampage, but he now is legging it for his life. Chaos Storm as well on top of Rom, as this game is just snowballing even further into TCG's favor now. And this doesn't feel like Orange Logo are going to be able to come back from this as it is currently.
Yeah, this is very, very difficult for them to do anything about at the moment.
Trying, though, with that decap over on the quarry, but I fear that even now it's going to be too late, and even a Lord Rush possibility from TCG is very likely, especially with the overheating that's coming out from Zan's PC at the moment.
You got a good point. I mean, they might actually just not want to risk going into the later stages of the game. Just try and go for that Lord Rush because of that. I mean, it has affected these games before. Of course, they haven't quite had these cushions of points that they had before, and they got themselves back Quarry anyway. They've always been able to hold on to these 2 caps and really never let them go. TCG are definitely running away with this.
Yeah, I mean, nice movement there from Misha, actually, but good as well from Sin trying to get onto the Mesmer. You know, it's obviously one of his main jobs. And we've got the Thief and the Mesmer on the side of TCG, of course. They always need to be watching out for their positioning, and Sin is trying to be on one of them at different various times, but there's nothing really coming out from Orange Logo to try and counter that. Like, Sin can't look at both of them all the whole time, and is still trying to get the decaps. So he's doing a lot of work at the moment, this man. Like, Frey's trying to get on his targets as well. But, you know, once that port's gone, he's always going to be in a, you know, his mobility loss. You know, he can't, he's not really got any speed. He's relying on his team's mobility to help him to get around the map. Things like, you know, speed, swiftness from Tage and whatnot as well.
Misha going to get out of there. TechSpeed likewise also has to get away from Syndrome, but he will go down to those burning ticks. So he's going to have a little bit of a hard time. He's also poisoned, and he'll just be left in no man's land, basically, whilst Frey launches a little bit of cleave onto him. But Red Levin is there. Frey's going to have to abandon the point for a moment to try and slow that down.
No.
Mark away. Oh, no.
It's just not enough in the end, unfortunately. He did catch him because
the counter.
Yeah, he knew where the stealth was coming out. Sin in a nice place to try and get the res on Frey. Should be able to get it safely here. And they've got the point in their favor. At least that's something in their favor at present, of course. Now, mid, Tage is going to have to just run straight through towards the quarry so he can support that fight. We got this 2v1 situation, Roma in the Rampage now as well. If you can get this kill on Misha, that would be very nice, of course, as well. But he actually pushes back onto Zan, because Zan's in a bit of trouble himself. So should be able to get this down. And Misha as well, he's definitely gone out of that fight. Knows he's not going to be able to get anything out of that. And that's where you really know that where the experience comes in, you know, knowing when to leave that fight, that you're, you know, not in a great situation to pick up anything out of this. But, you know, Orange Logo now 300 points behind. Feels like the end for them.
Yeah, it does, it does. And considering how these lineups have, you know, really shaped up during today, I was expecting a bit more of a closer series, but that's how it's going at the moment. TechSpeed right now is down, so at least they're going to get themselves 1 kill to then maybe try and separate themselves off. Look at this. I mean, they've got decaps everywhere else. They've got themselves Quarry and Waterfall. And, well, Jebro, you know, as close as Caster Curses can come. I'm not sure that this one will come to full fruition just yet.
Yeah, I'm not too sure at the moment. I mean, Misha's doing a fantastic job here with Zan. They're in a great position to decap, if not kill Mancal. Frey's coming in as well, but I fear that if he comes into a situation where Mancal goes down, this is not going to be great because, well, he's got back into water there, so he's actually going to be okay into Earth as well, so we can see some protection up time as well as a regen. So it should be okay here. Now Frey can be fourth right in his damage on towards potentially Misha there. But Big Zan, of course, in stealth. Doesn't get the Elixir X that he needs. But unfortunately for Orange Logo now, they have lost 2 members. Syndrome over towards that quarry, and Mancal there over towards that waterfall as well. And I think there's nothing really that Frey can do here to get back into this. Tries to pull out the counter damage onto Zan, and really is doing a really good job just with what he has. And he does go down there. That was inevitable, but he played it well. Like, he couldn't run. He just can't run in that situation. There's no one to port on from afar. He's got no cooldowns. He's going to be taken out there no matter what. And he just tried to get the kill. We've even seen the DC now from Frey. GGs have been called as well.
Yeah.
This is going to be the end. Orange Logo pulling out 2nd position today. And TCG pulling out the first game, that 1K.
Yeah, congratulations to TCG here. Not exactly with the full, complete lineup, but likewise Orange Logo didn't, with just kind of 1 or 2 members switched out on both sides. But congratulations to TCG, bagging themselves a good chunk of change, and they will be able to walk away with €200 each, which is pretty good.
Yeah, indeed. So it's nice to see the teams coming back, especially if so close after WTS as well. We've all had quite a big week, and I know I'm quite tired myself after WTS and all the travelling I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. But otherwise, I hope everyone enjoyed it at chat and at home, of course. And yeah.
It's been a good
Congrats.
one. It has been a good one, no doubt, obviously. Moving forwards here, we will be having more Go4GuildWars2 monthlies. And sadly, we don't know exactly when the WTS is going to be coming back around. But with, Heart of Thorns rapidly approaching and with, potential, obviously there was the leagues announced as well, which is the big important thing for a lot of people. Obviously those leagues are going to add a lot of structure to the SPVP system in-game, not only out of game where we have these tournaments set up. That's going to be pretty fantastic. Yeah,
there's loads of exciting stuff to come in the SPVP for Guild Wars 2 EU and NA. We've got, we've still got the weekly cups on Thursday. That's tomorrow. So if you're thinking about entering anything at the moment, get yourself involved in the weekly tournaments, of course, which is going to be over on my channel on Twitch. And make sure you hit the ESL site as well to check out the rest of the tournaments. We've got Go4s on Sunday, still going for NA and EU as well. So make sure you're getting in there, keep yourself constant, get yourself prepped, ready for the next tournaments that will be, I'm not sure when they'll be announced or talked about, but, inevitably we will continue up the path because we have had now 3 WTS tournaments across the world. So inevitably this will happen again. They're only getting bigger and better. So this is something to expect in the future. So you better get consistent and get yourself in some teams, because there's still prize money up for grabs.
That is true. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure bringing you the Go4GuildWars2 monthly finals. And join us in the future when we'll have more Guild Wars 2 action here at twitch.tv/Guild Wars 2. Bye for now.
See you soon.